welcome. Welcome to this episode number 10 of the series Learning Amiga Assembly with Docster. Today is not the last episode of the series, but it's the last episode where I will be covering the instruction set. Next one will be a revision of everything. And today you'll also get some homework. So let's see how this goes. I have created a channel for the homework, and basically anyone that submits the homework, let's say that, can be peer review from others that submit their homework. Let's see how it goes. I have more ideas related to this, but yeah, it's a test at the same time to see how I'm going to do this. Anyway, guys, let's start, because I want to really finish all. So, as always, guys, so please, guys, like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Please remember that under each video there is the please click the more button, and you'll get links to the video to the source code. You'll find source code on Mega. Also, please like and follow my Facebook page. And also the Phase 101 Facebook group, plus the Commodore Dev Facebook group. As I said last time, in the last few months this has been growing and growing, so there is quite some activity going there. If you send me messages on Facebook, if you send me messages on Facebook, I do take time to read them, so please go and subscribe to my Discord, and normally I reply quite quickly. If you want to go that extra mile and support us, then you will unlock on Patreon or on Ko-fi 106 videos which are related to development. They are Ko-fi and Patreon, they are identical. So for you guys, we are going to do these today that are in orange, okay? And also we will do all the conditional codes, okay? But they basically, just to remind you, where there is CC, okay, so decrement and branch CC, branch CC, okay, or set CC, you use one of these, okay? So we will be finishing all the instruction set that I said as a beginner you need to know. Just to remind you what we will be covering. So, bit test. So basically, it tests for a bit, and it sets a 0 or a 1, depending on the result. So it works on byte and long word. It doesn't work on word, okay? And it can be data register against an memory, or it can be an immediate against memory, or a data register, basically. So just to show you, actually let me read what I've written also. A bit in the destination operand, so you test for a bit, okay? This is something that the 6502 doesn't have, or it has it limited, let's say that. A bit in the destination operand is tested, and the state of the specific bit is reflected in the condition of the 0 bit in the conditional code register. The destination is not modified, so the destination, nothing happens to the destination by bit tst instruction. If a data register is the destination, then the bit numbering is modulo 32. So basically you can check every bit, okay? Allowing bit manipulation of all bits in a data register. If a memory location in the destination, if a memory location in the destination, a byte is read from that location, the bit operation performed. I have something strange in that sentence. This is the same as we were doing before though. Bit 0 refers to the least significant bit. The bit number for this operation may be specified either statistically by an immediate value or dynamically by the contents of a data register. That sentence I cannot really. If a memory location in the destination, a byte is read from that location, the bit operation performed. Now that is wrong. So if a memory location in the destination, a byte is read from that location, the bit operation performed using bit number modulo 8. So basically you can only use bits from 1 to 8, and the byte written back to that location. So basically you write back a byte. Bit 0 refers to the least significant bit. The bit number for this operation may be specified either statically by an immediate value or dynamically by the contents of a data register. So let's see it. So we move triple F0 into the 0. Okay, you can see it. Now we move 0 into the 1. You can see it's 0. Now we test the 1 against the 0. Okay, so the 1, it has a value of 0. So the Z flag is set, okay, and basically the value remains the same. So because it was not set, it's a 0 now, so we verified that there was nothing in there. Okay, so now we test for bit 7 in the 1. So we put 7, so we're going to test bit 7 now. So bit 7 is set now because we have FO, so FF FO, so we know that bit 7 is set there. So we test bit test the 1 against the 0. Okay, it is not set, as you can see, the 0 flag, because we actually have a value there. There is bit 1 is set. Now we test bit 15, okay, and you can see that it is set also bit 15 because we have FF0. So we move 15 into the 1 and we bit test the 1 against the 0, and of course the 0 flag is not set. So basically we make decisions based on a bit. That's what we have. Let me catch up with your messages now. Um, to be fair, SP175, as in Pro and DefPack, they are quite similar. You can tell DefPack to understand ASIM one and vice versa. They have those options. There are some slight differences, but mostly it's okay. I mean, unless you get some code which is old. But I suggest you install them both, not just one. Because certain when they start using includes and doing things, that's where things can become an issue. So that was bit test, and it took me 1 hour to do bit test. Jesus. Bit set. So bit test. 1 hour of code. So bit set. Okay, so this time we set a bit according to some test that we do. So basically we set destination bit from source, depending which bit we want to set. Okay, you can see that bit set works with data register and a data register or a memory location, and you can do also data against a memory location or a register. Attributes are byte and long word. Okay, a bit in the destination operand is tested, and the state of the specified bit is reflected in the condition of the 0 bit. So always using the 0 bit of the conditional code. After the test, the specified bit is set. Okay, so this time we do something, we do set it. Okay, so after the test, the specified bit is set in the destination. If a data register in the destination, then the bit modulo is 32. So basically we're using a data register, we can test for any bit and set for any bit, allowing bit manipulation of all bits in a data register. If a memory location in the destination, a byte is read from the location, the bit operation performed using bit modulo 8. So basically we are working on a byte now, no? So we only have 8 bits. Okay, and the byte written back to the location. Bit 0 refers to the least significant bit, as always. So these words are repeated from the previous one. The bit number of the operation may be specified either by an immediate value or dynamically by the contents of a data register. So let's run it. So we're clearing the 0. We're testing. We are setting bit 1, which is not the first bit but the second bit. Okay, because we start from 0. So the 0 will be 2. Okay, we move 2 into the 1. Okay, and we bit test and set. No, so we're going to test now bit 2, which is, if we start from 0, the third one. No, and we're going to set it so the value in the 0 will become 6. We move 12 into the 1, and we also set bit 12, so the value will be 1006. Okay, now we move FFFF into the 0. We set bit 1, but in reality it's already set, so that remains the same. We move 2 into the 1, and we bit set and test and set. Sorry, that's the actual, because first you do the test and then you do the set. D1, which is bit 2, into the 0, and again it is set, so we do nothing. What I have you need to notice is the changing in the flags, and you base conditions on the flags. No, so we have a missing a branch instruction missing, which we will do later on today, I hope. This should be the last episode for this. So now we're going to test bit 12, and as you can see, bit 12 is also set. So when we test for it, we do not get the 0 flag set, so no change basically in the flags. Okay, we did 2 at least. Now we're going to test and clear a bit. So we did the set, now we are going to do the clear. The 68000 is very rich when it comes to bit setting, clearing, and all that stuff. This is where I wish this was available on the 6502. So it's again a data register against memory or another data register. It's again immediate value against a data register or an address register or a memory location. It's also byte and long word. Practically it's the same as the other one, but we are clearing this time. So a bit in the destination operand is tested, and the state of the specified bit is reflected in the condition of the Z bit in the conditional code. Okay, so we are basing the changes based on the 0 flag as always. After the test, the state of the specified bit is cleared. The other one was set, this one is cleared in the destination. If a data register in the destination, the bit numbering is modulo 32, so we can set any bit, again like the other one, allowing the manipulation of all the bits in the data register. If a memory location in the destination, a byte is read from that location, the bit operation performed using modulo 8, so of course because we're working on a memory location, we only have bits 1 to 8, no, to set, and the byte written back to that location, and basically we write back. So we read it, we set, and we write it back. Bit 0 refers to the least significant bit, of course. We start from bit 0. The bit number for this operation may be specified either by an immediate value or dynamically by the contents of a data register. So let's execute it, and you're going to see that I am clearing 1 bit at a time from where I have the FFF. So we moved FFF into the 0, and it will start, as I move this, it will start decrementing, okay, because I'm clearing bits, and I did it for till bit 10 basically. So we move long all F's into the 0, and we move 16 into the 1, and we are going to clear bit 16. So you can see that it becomes FFFE, FFFF. We move 20 into the 1, and you can see we are going to clear bit 20 in the 0. So we have another E there. We're going to move 24, and again we test and clear the bit 24 of the 0. So it becomes FEEE. And then we are going to change the last F, which is bit 28. We're going to change it, we're clearing it, and basically it becomes EEEFFFF. So they are quite simple instructions. Let's face it also. So we did 3. Okay, improvement. Bit change. So this is the flipping of bits. So if it's a 1, we make it a 0, and if it's a 0, we make it a 1. So sets destination bit from source. So if it was a 1, it becomes 0, or vice versa. Bit change works on data register against memory or a data register, or it works with immediate value against memory. So always the same. These 4 instructions, okay, have the same parameters. Everything is the same. Size is byte or long word. There is no word, okay? A bit in the destination operand is tested, and the state of the specified bit is reflected in the condition of the 0 bit in the conditional code register. So we test always using the 0 flag. After the test operation, the state of the specified bit is changed in the destination. If a data register is the destination, then the bit numbering, same like the others, we can do it against the whole 32-bit number, okay? So all 32 bits, allowing bit manipulation of all the bits in a data register. If a memory location, if we're going to use a memory location, then we are going to have a memory location is only a byte, no? So 8 bits, basically. If a memory location is the destination, a byte is read from that location. The bit operation performed using the bit number modulo 8 and the byte written back to that location. So basically we read it, we change the bit and write it back. That's what it does. Note that the bit 0 again is the least significant bit. The bit number for this operation may be specified either statically by an immediate value. So we can specify an immediate value by the contents of a data register. So let's run the code. So we are moving a word, and it is FF000, FF00, sorry. So into the 0. We are moving long 2 into the 1. So we are affecting, we're going to work with bit 2, okay? So bit change. Okay, so we are changing bit 2, okay, of the 0. So it becomes a 4. Same thing, we are going to do move long 10, the 1. So we're going to play with bit 10 now. So bit change, bit 10 in the 0. So you're going to see bit 10 changing and becomes a B. And now we're going to change bit 12, and this becomes an E. So you can see that the value from FF00 in the 0, it becomes EB04. Quite simple instructions and very powerful instructions. So change branch. So we are going to talk about branching. Okay, now as I told you, the 68000 has a lot of different types of branching. Okay, it's not JSR to subroutine and jump, okay, like the 6502. It has a lot, and there are some differences that you will need to understand. First, let me cover the branch instruction. Like the branch, there is the jump, okay, and I will explain the difference between them. So branch to a label, okay, or branch, and you can specify a value, so it's either a minus or a plus. So a branch can go from its current state, it's PC relative, okay, from its current position where the program counter is, it can go either minus 32768 or plus 32767. If you are, okay, in a section, okay, you normally always use branch. To get out of a section, you use jump or JSR. Okay, what is a section? A section is defined by let's say you want a piece of code and you want to name it, and you group that code, let's say my code, you name it my code. All the code in that section is labeled, is tagged. It's like a tag. It's tagged my code. Okay, so as long as you are within your my code, you can use branch. Okay, if you from this tag you want to go to OSK code, let's say that, then you have to use not branch but jump. Okay, so that is the difference between them. Jump can see all the memory. Okay, branch can only see 64K basically. A section normally is 64K also. However, there are ways of making it bigger and things like that. I'm not going into the detail of that, but just think of it, a section, a 64K. So a branch can reach all the positions basically. So, description. Program execution continues at the location. Program execution continues at location PC, where the program counter is, and displacement. The displacement, D, is a 2's complement value. If it is 8 bits for a short, so you can have two types, because I forgot to mention that the displacement can be a byte or a word. So you can either have minus 128 plus 127, or minus 32768 plus 32767. So if you are using 128, okay, so if you're using 8 bits, then you have minus 128, and if you are using and plus 127, and if you are using 16 bits, you are using 22768 minus 22768 and 32767. The value in the PC, okay, corresponds to the current location plus 2, okay, because it's the next instruction always. Know that a short branch to the next instruction is impossible, so you cannot tell it, okay, branch to the next instruction. Since the branch code 0 is used to indicate, so actually the CPU internally is used to indicate a long branch within a 16-bit offset, so you cannot really tell it, okay, branch to next instruction. It doesn't make sense. It is 0. So let's execute the code. So one thing that I haven't said, I always told you that if you when you are in ASMPRO and type AD, which means assemble and debug, if you press the arrow down, okay, you execute one instruction at a time. If you want to go into a branch or a function or a JSR or something, then as per note up there in ASMPRO, use the right arrow to jump into a routine. So you need to press the right arrow to jump into the routine. So to execute the branch to max, okay, I need to press the right mouse button, right arrow, okay, and it jumped there. So we are moving into the 0 a number of values, okay, always to the 0, and it's always a byte, and then we jump back. this is more to show you how branch works, okay? And we jump back to max and we do it again, and it's an infinite loop basically, okay? So branch jumps to a label within the same section, okay? So like branch, there is jump. Now jump is not relative, it doesn't have a displacement, it can jump to any part of the memory, okay? So destination is the program counter, goes to the program counter basically. So jump to an address, as you can see there. Size, there is no size, it's an address, so it's always a long address. The program executions continues at the effective address specified by the instruction, okay? Conditional code registers, they are not affected. And again, same like for branch jump, you need to press the right arrow to enter that routine. So we move FF into the 0, and then we jump to max, okay? And again, we are in an infinite loop. Now, the difference, as I said, between jump and branch is section, okay? We can jump to any section, any code tagged with a different name, okay? In 8086, okay, just yes, you can use local labels. The same thing, dot local test, as you said, or dot test. Yeah, I'm not using local labels, but it doesn't. It's an assembler feature. No, it's not a. It's not an 68,000 instruction. But yes, you can use local labels by specifying dot, or by typing the label, and instead of colon at the end, you do a dollar. But most people do not probably know this. So, and it's not used quite a lot. So dot and label, it's better. So just keep that in mind, okay? So branch jump in the same section, jump goes to a different code which is tagged differently. We have covered, to be honest, section in various other places. It's not part of this because it's not a 68,000. It's an assembler thing, the section directive, okay? Where you tag memory for blocks of code. So I modified it so you can see label max, okay? And then I have local labels, okay? Dot max and jump dot max, okay? So if I execute it, will always do. No, you can see it didn't give me an error by doing that, because this label max is different than dot max. The important thing is that labels always, whether it's local or not, you always specify a colon. Now some assemblers do not need that colon, but I suggest you always do it. Because on these things they vary a bit. But dot is a known thing that it's a local label. Yeah, it's executing because I went over this. So instead of executing this, I pressed the wrong key and I told it do the next instruction after jump. And of course, God knows what's in memory, where it is. Now, I'm not going to run it again. I just need to talk where I have the comments, okay? This instruction can also be used, okay, with indirect addressing. So if you have a table, let's say you load, you can see, I mean, it will not work in this example, it will not work. So this is why it's commented out. But I want to show you because the OS has got lots of these, okay? LEA routine table, okay, comma 80. So we load a table, and based on that table, a table of functions, so okay, and based on that table, we execute. So jump what we have in the first memory location, okay, first 4 bytes. Then second one, 4,80. Now in the OS, actually, because you can specify minus values, okay, so -4, you will see them in the wrong kernel manual, like -4, -8, okay, -12, okay. It's always like this. It is the OS functions are like this in the Amiga, okay. They are a table, and then if you have to disassemble it, if you had to go and try to disassemble a function, first you find the table. So when you find the table, you will see that it's a series of jumps. It's not JSR. You do a JSR to the address of the jump, okay. The jump then jumps to the function, okay. Why? Because the kickstart can change, okay. So the address is never a JSR but a jump, but you do a JSR. So you JSR, then there is a jump, and jump takes you to a memory location. You execute the function and you return back to your code. Basically, it's all like that. Every single method, function, call it whatever you like, is like that in the OS. And this is why I'm mentioning it, because you will see this quite a lot. So after jump, we do branch to subroutine. So again, there is branch to subroutine and jump to subroutine. Difference between them is branch to subroutine is within the same tag of code. Jump to subroutine, okay, is anywhere in memory, okay. Branch to subroutine is shorter to execute. It's faster also. JSR takes longer, takes more cycles. Same thing for branch and jump. Branch is shorter to execute because it's a displacement, what it does. While, so it's not the full address, it's a relative, so it's a word. So it's you save memory and you also save cycles with a branch. If you use branch to subroutine, the same thing, less cycles and less memory. Jump to subroutine, more cycles, more memory. And this is another thing why you should not use JSR unless you are going to a different tag of code or group of code. So branch to subroutine label again, branch to subroutine a literal, you can specify a value like branch. So it's the same thing, but it's expects a return at the end. Okay, an RTS. The long word address of the instruction immediately following the BSR instruction is pushed onto the system stack. I forgot to mention that it uses the stack, of course, because we are jumping to a subroutine and then we have to return back by A7. Remember, A7 or SP is the same thing. Stack pointer and A7 are the same thing. Program execution then continues at location PC plus displacement. So when we jump, it's PC and the displacement. The displacement is an 8-bit, so it can be an 8-bit. Again, I have that should be to complement the apostrophe for some reason. Is a 16-bit to complement value for a long branch. The value in the PC corresponds to the current location plus 2, of course, because it's the next instruction. No. Note that a short branch to the next instruction is impossible, basically the 0, since the branch 0 is used to indicate a long branch with a 16-bit number. So you cannot branch to the next instruction, basically. BSR is used to call a procedure or subroutine since it provides relative addressing and therefore position independent code. Its use is preferable to JSR, of course. Also, the fact that you are relative also makes your code cleaner in a way. Again, same thing, right arrow to jump into a routine. So these 4 instructions, so branch to subroutine, jump, and jump to subroutine, they are all of the same group and they have all the same syntax. Okay. Just you need to remember the difference is section or tagging, code grouping, basically. So we branch into max. Okay, we load values into the 0 and return. Okay, so we're going back to branch to subroutine, then we move ff into the 0 and we exit. Okay, we exit the program. Remember, we're going into the debugger. The debugger is a routine. You can execute code and then it returns back to the assembler. So when I don't do RTS, like in the previous example, because I forgot to put an RTS at the end, it crashes because it tries to execute the next instruction after what is there in memory. So with the same principle, we do jump to subroutine. Now, again, jump to subroutine can be anywhere in memory and it's always a long word, so size is not specified. You just specify an address. JSR pushes the long word address of the instruction immediately following the JSR onto the system stack. So like branch to subroutine, it uses the stack. Program execution then continues at the address specified in the destination, and of course then we return with an RTS. So as we know it in the 6502. So we jump to max, we execute those 3 instructions and we return, and then we move ff into the 0 and RTS. The example doesn't really show any difference in between this and branch to subroutine. Both examples are quite similar. you will only see it when you start creating groups of code. Ah, yeah, thank you. That's a good point. Somebody's paying attention. Well done, SP. So I hope I am clear about code tagging. So RTS. You all know RTS, like the 6502, you return from a subroutine. Okay? Basically, you restore the program counter from the stack and you return to from where you left. The program counter is pulled from the stack and the previous value of the PC is lost. So where we were, we lose it. Yes, exactly, Docster. Exactly. Of course, if you have a section of code and the section of code is bigger than where, branch to subroutine has a limit 32k, minus 32k, and plus 32k, no? If your routine is further up or down, then you need to use jump or JSR. But normally, okay, code is no more than 64k. What does it mean? Why are you saying that, SP175? If it's a joke. Okay, okay. Section. Now I got you. I never understand the English from the. I suffer from this. So again, RTS is the same example as we had before. We are executing and returning, and notice this stack pointer, okay, SR on the left is going to be restored. It's going to change, and the program counter is going to change. Okay, so stack pointer changes and program counter changed, and now we continue executing. Yeah. I didn't get it from the beginning. So that those were, so we did two groups, okay, already, the bit set, the bit test set clear change, okay, and now we did the branch jump or branch to subroutine or jump to subroutine. So 4 and 4, okay, and we did the RTS, of course. Now branch on a conditional code. So guys, we're going to talk about the branch instructions. Now the branch instructions, there's, as I said, there's quite a bit of them. I'm just going to take this first example and try to go through them However, the next instructions, I will not go through each one itself, because each instruction has got all these flavors, okay, which I am indicating with the mouse right now. So there are these conditions for a branch, all of these, okay. Because of that, because they are common, I do not need to repeat this. I'm going to read them here, and then the next instructions will be the same. So branch on a conditional code, okay. So if the conditional code equals 1, then PC is PC plus displacement, so we jump to somewhere. Takes an 8-bit value or a 16-bit value, okay. So either we jump -128 to +127, or we jump -32768 to +32767. If the specified logical condition is met, program execution continues at location PC plus displacement, which is D in this case. The displacement is a 2's complement value. The value in the PC corresponds to the current location plus 2. The range of the branch is -1 to 6, 1 to 7, that should be. That is wrong. -1 to 8 and +1 to 7. That is a typo. So -1 to 8 +1 to 7. And the same thing is for 16-bit, which is -32k to +32k with a 16-bit offset. A short branch to the next instruction is impossible, like the others, like the branch to subroutine, because the 0 is indicated as a long branch. The conditional codes, the branches can do on true, false, high if the value is high, if the value is low or same, on carry, which you know, on carry set, on not equal, on equal, on overflow, clear, on overflow set, plus, on minus, greater than or equal, less than, greater than, less than or equal. So we can specify any one of these after the letter B, okay, for branch. Now, in the you're going to see it later on, but for now I simplified it a bit. I divided them, okay, in those that are signed, unsigned, and those that are signed. Basically, when you are using 2's complement, you're making a compare based on some 2 values, then use one of those that are either unsigned or signed, depending if you're using 2's complement or not. Now, there are some of them which are common. Right now, I group them just to make you aware that they are divided into 2 categories, unsigned and signed. And branch on overflow, okay, on clear or set, that is, of course, if we have an overflow, that is a different category. Now, here is where I went into more detail. Note that there are 2 types of conditional branch instructions: those that branch on unsigned condition and those that branch on a signed condition. The signed comparisons are, and if you notice, I do not have, so there is branch on greater than or equal, or branch on greater, branch on less than, or branch on less than, or branch on less than, branch on less than, or lower or equal. If you notice, okay, for signed, I left some out, okay, like branch on plus or on minus. For unsigned, I did the same. Branch, so BHS is also branch if higher, is also branch if carry clear. Okay, so it's the same. So there are some similarities between them. Branch if high, branch if high, branch if low, or branch on let me read the branch on lower or same, or branch on less than, and whatever. Now, some of these, okay, so like branch on carry clear and branch on carry set, it's actually for any of these two, okay, but we normally think, okay, of unsigned numbers for branch on carry clear and branch on carry set, okay, but actually you can use it for unsigned and signed, okay, so that's why it's not in these, they are not specified here. The other thing that I already said is BHS and BCC are the same, and I'm going to talk about it down here. The official mnemonics BCC, branch on carry clear, and branch on carry set, okay, can be renamed as BHS, branch on higher that or same, and branch on low or less, respectively. Okay, many 68,000 assembler support these alternative mnemonics. So basically the assembler will change depending on the assembler those mnemonics, but they are the same. Okay, so there's no difference here. Here is where you have to really, from all the tables that I have, this is what counts. So notice branch on equal label, okay, but the compare before it is opcode 2 equals opcode 1. So destination, is it equal to source? So we all know branch on equal and branch on not equal, okay, so opcode 2 different than opcode 1, okay. However, we do not know the others basically, or we don't know some of them. So branch on high, okay, so opcode 2 greater than opcode 1. The source and destination play a big part in this example, in branches. So you need to be careful what you are comparing with. So if you have the source and the destination, you need to make sure that you always have the destination is the thing that you want to test against. Okay, so notice branch on high. Okay, so branch on high says, okay, opcode 2, which is the destination, is it greater than opcode 1, than source? Okay, and it works for unsigned. Unsigned, okay, so branch if greater than, and we jump to a label. What does it do? What test we need to have before it? Is opcode 2, okay, so is it destination greater than source, opcode 1? And this works for signed numbers. And the rest, okay? This table here, how to use branch on a condition after a compare, okay? And there's a reason why I'm mentioning after a compare. So you have the compare, you use one of these, and then you branch. If you use test, okay, then there is another table, okay. Test, you check opcode 1, which is, you know, test against a register or something. Is the register equal to 0? Then it applies for all numbers. Is the register different than 0? Applies to all numbers. But greater than, okay, is the register, is the source or destination actually greater than 0, plus is the destination or the only opcode, because there is only one, greater than or equal to 0. So it's always against the 0 flag. These two tables are very important, okay. I can tell you that this, because I do not remember it by heart, these two tables, I have them written attached to my desk basically when I'm checking branches, because you will need I mean, they do not come to my mind like that easily, so I prefer to have this table. So let's see all these in action. So we're going to move 44 into the 0, and now we're doing a compare the 43 with the 0, okay. So of course they are not the same. Is it high? Okay, if it is high, it's higher. Now we jump to loop 1, we do nothing, and we return because it's still high, and then we exit this one. I showed you branch on high, okay, and we go to the second one, lower or the same. Is it lower or the same? So we have 45. So branch on less, no, it's not. So we continue to, we jump, and then we do for carry clear. So we jump to the section where we're going to check for the flags related to the carry. So 43, carry clear. Is the carry going to be cleared? Yes. We jumped to loop 3, and we jump back because it's still cleared now. We jump back to where we were, and we go to carry set, to the block where carry is set. Again, compare with 45. This time carry is set. You can see it set. So we're going to jump, loop 4, we do nothing, and we return back, and we jump to P5. We're going to compare if it's not equal. So it's not equal to 0. We're going to, we have FF into the 0. Sorry, we're going to compare FF into the 0. So they are different. We have 44 and that is FF, so it's not equal to, and we jump to loop 5. And then we go back and we exit our routine. Again, we're going to check on equal. We know this from the 6502, no? So are they equal? Yes, they are. Okay, so we jump to loop 6, we do something, we return because they're still equal, and we branch to T7. Overflow, we move 1000 into the 0. Okay, we're going to add 7000 to the 0. Is it clear? The overflow flag, it is cleared. So we jump to loop 7, we do nothing basically, and we jump to T8. Overflow set. So we have 1,000 into the 0. We move, we add another 1,000 into the 0, and of course we have an overflow, so it is set. So we jump to loop 8, we continue executing, and then we jump to the next type of compare, which is plus. So we move 44 into the 0, we sub immediate byte for 40. Okay, is it a plus? It is. We have 4 remaining, so it's still a plus. So we branch to loop 9, we do nothing and exit. Okay, minus, we have 44 into the 0. We subtract 45 from 44, so we get a minus. Is it minus? Yes, it is. We branch the loop and we exit. Guys, these, I'm telling you, you're going to come across them. You will think about the 6502 and you'll always use the 6502 ones, because those that come to your mind very easily. But trust me, these can save you a lot of hassle if you know them all. And this is why I keep that chart in front of me, basically. So greater than or equal. So 44, is it going to be bigger? Is it bigger than 43? It is. So we branch to loop B. We do nothing and we jump to the next one, which is less than. So is it less than? Okay, to the 0. It's not. Yes, it is less than what I'm saying. The 0 has got 44. Yes, it is less than. So we loop, we jump, we do something and we exit. Is it greater than? So the 0 has 44 and we are going to compare with 40. So the 0 is greater than that 40, than the 40. So we're going to jump to loop D. Okay, we do something and then we exit. Now less than or equal. So we have 46 against what is in the 0, which is 44. So is it less than? It is, because we have 44. So we're going to jump, we do something, branch on less than again, we go to T and then we exit. That branch to TF should not be there, to be honest. Doesn't make sense to have it there. I know why it is there, because I had another test and I deleted it. So TF, so is it false? So we move 45 into the 0, we compare it with 44, they are not the same, so they are not equal to, we jump to not equal to, we decrease 1, so now they're going to be equal, we branch now 44 with the 0, which is 44, and we do not branch again to not equal, because they are equal now, and we exit. Okay, so that is all the types of the conditional branches, basically, that we have. And as you saw, there is quite a number of them. So now that is the branch that we know, like the 6502. There is the same thing, but we set, okay? We set something based on those. Yes, Hamdok, no worries. Have a good night, my friend. So, if the conditional code equals 1, then the destination is ones, else the destination is zeros. That 2 is it's also a typo there. So the whole byte becomes either a 1 or a 0. Okay, that's what it means. And it works on a byte size. The specified condition code is tested. If the condition is true, the bits at the effective address are set to 1, so FF. Otherwise, the bits at the effective address are set to 0. Okay, and there are the same things: set, on carry set, on carry clear, on carry set, on equal, on greater than, or greater than or equal, on high, on less than. This instruction, this group of instructions, okay, we set something, we set a byte, we can say it's a toggler in a way, based on these conditions. And you're going to see one of these conditions. I didn't do it for all the others like the previous example, okay, because it doesn't make sense. So we move 1 into the 0, it's a word, okay, and we compare byte, which we can still do, so against 1. So the 0, is it a 1? Yes, it is. So set if it's equal. So look what's going to happen to the 0. It becomes FF because it matched to our condition. Now we're going to compare 1 to the 0, okay? Is it equal? Is it set? So the rest of the byte becomes 0, basically. And you can see the 0 became 0. That's the function of set based on a condition. This instruction, this group of instructions, okay, are quite powerful, as you can see. So last one. Okay, this is an instruction that you will use a lot: decrement and branch based on a condition. So basically it is like having repeat until, okay? So the 68,000, okay, have something like what we know in high level languages, repeat until, okay? This is what it means. Decrement the counter and continue to do so till the counter finish, like for next loop in a way, let's say that. So test condition, decrement and branch. If condition false, then the n equals the n minus 1. I'm going to read it, but the best way is to see it with an example, okay, guys? Because it sounds complex, but it's not. It's how we know it in high-level languages, okay? It's okay, Steve. If condition is false, then the n equals the n minus 1, okay? So decrement the loop counter, basically. If the n equals minus 1, so if we basically passed 0, okay, then PC equals PC plus 2, so continue with the next instruction, else branch back to where we were. Else PC is PC plus 2, fall through the next instruction. So it depends where we are. Description: the decrement and branch instruction provides an automatic looping facility and replaces the usual decrement counter, test and branch instruction. So it eliminates all these type of instruction, doing the compare and all that stuff. 3 parameters are required by the decrement and branch instruction. So 1, a branch condition, so we need a condition to branch on, specified by DCC. So all those combinations that we were talking before, true, false, greater than, less than, etc., etc., one of those. A data register that serves as a loop counter, so we need a data register with a counter, which is our counter, and a label, so where to go, okay, where to loop. That indicates the start of the loop. So decrement and branch, first test the condition, the CC, okay, and if CC is true, the loop is terminated and the branch and the branch back to label not taken, so we don't jump back. The 14 branch conditions supported by BCC are also supported. So all those 14 CC condition codes that we talked about, they are all supported by decrement and branch, as well as decrement on false or decrement on true. Note that many assemblers permit the mnemonic DBF to be expressed as the BRA. I use the BRA. Some people use DBF. It doesn't matter. You don't gain anything. Okay, there's no speed increase, etc. For some people, it makes more sense decrement and branch if false. For some people, it makes more sense decrement and branch. I prefer decrement and branch also because initially on the 68,000 it was decrement and branch. That's how they know it, and because I am too much old school, I know decrement and branch. It is important to appreciate that the condition tested by the decrement and branch instruction works in the opposite sense of the branch based on a condition, okay, instruction. For example, BCC means branch on carry clear, while decrement and branch on carry clear means continue execution till the carry is clear. So we exit when the carry is not clear. Okay, that is, the decrement and branch condition is a loop terminator. Okay, if the termination condition is not true, the low order 16 bits of the specified data register are decremented. If the result is -1, the loop is not taken. Okay, so we don't jump back to the loop, and the next instruction is executed. If the result is not -1, a branch is made to the label. We loop. Know that the label represents a 16-bit signed value, so you can have a loop as big as 32K, okay, which is far from what you normally do, and it's a 16-bit signed number, which means that you have minus 32K to 32K. Since the value in the end decrements in 16 bits, the loop may be executed up to 64K times. You can use the instruction decrement and branch on equal, and branch on decrement and branch on 0 to mechanize the high-level language in construct, decrement, repeat, and until. Okay, so it's the same thing, guys. I read a lot, but it's very simple to use. Okay, and it's crucial that you know this instruction. You will need it all the time. Okay, it's like in basic V2 of the Commodore 64, you cannot do without the for next loop, and this is the same thing. Okay, so we move 3 into the 0, right? What we are saying, decrement. So decrement the 0, look specified after the instruction decrement branch on equal. No, so decrement the 0, and if it's not 0, we loop back to the loop. Okay, so basically you're going to see did 0 decrement it to 0. Okay, when it becomes -1, we exit the loop. So if it's not 0, we are going to branch to loop 1. You can see that, and we branch back to loop. Okay, decrement it again, it's 2 now. Okay, so we branch to loop 1, and we continue doing this till it reaches 0. So right now did 0, so 0 is also executed. It is also, the routine is executed, the loop is executed at 0. We're going to be, now it's going to do a decrement, right? Decrement did 0, it's going to be -1. Now it will not jump to loop 1. Okay, but it will move, it will do the move instruction, move byte ff into the 1. Okay, so we exited the loop, and we finished our routine. Guys, decrement and branch is a must know. Decrement and branch with all those 14 different types of conditions is a must know. And same thing, those two tables, compare, when you have a compare of two operands, so opcode 1 and opcode 2, source and destination, and same table for test when you are testing against an opcode. So I am going to talk about something else now. So if you notice, I finished what I had, the instructions that I had today, and what we have covered in the sheet that I stated in the beginning. So I have exercises. Okay, I'm going to share 3 exercises on my Discord, okay, for you to do. Okay, and you can comment and type the result. So they are simple ones, so you take your time. Samar Kade 69, thanks for the follow, much appreciated. We're talking Amiga 68000 assembly. So guys, this is the first example. This example was written by Docster. What you need to do, you need to comment each line, okay, where there is an instruction, where there is a semicolon, afterwards you need to comment it, and you have to say what is the value, the result that we will get in the 0. Okay, that is all. Once you have done it, you post it into the on Discord. I'm going to put these 3 files, okay, on Discord. Okay, so you will be able to, you know, load them in your assembler and run them and do whatever you need, or you can try to do it manually if you want. But the important thing is that you submit, let's say that this is my homework, what we have just set here. I will be seeing this, I will be monitoring this, I will be correcting them, but you are also allowed to correct someone else, not yours, but someone else, as long as you submit yours. So I mean, peer review, you know, I mean, at work we use a lot peer review, and this is the same thing. So I correct your code and you correct mine. That's how it works. So this is example 1. Okay, then there is example 2. Same thing. You comment it. Okay, we are helping you here. There's an illegal instruction here. Okay, in check, tell me which one it is, or try it in the assembler. By the way, make sure that the assembler is assembling in 68,000, not in 68030 or 20 or something like that. These instructions are for 68,000. So this is the second example. Third one, same thing. You need to comment, say what it's doing, and what will be the result in the 0. This is a tricky one. Okay. So yes, I will be posting these 3, and let's see how many of you will get it right. Let's say that. I mean, it's for fun. No, there's no right or wrong. We help each other to learn. That's the aim of it at the end. So everybody, including myself, I started from 0. I didn't know anything, and I was making the same mistakes that maybe you will make, and sometimes I still make those mistakes. So yeah, I will be posting these 3 examples after this stream finishes. Okay, so these 3 examples. Next week there will be more, and next week it's a revision of all that we did. Okay, it's 2 hours of revision, and basically this series will finish with next week. So let me see. So let's go to close up. So guys, I hope you like my idea of doing this type of exercise. I'm using the word that OSK uses, homework, but it's not really homework. We're just helping each other, solving problems, right? So that's the aim behind it. So guys, honestly, thank you very much. Thanks for the laugh. We are what? How many? I'm 30 minutes late because of what happened in the beginning. But you really guys made me laugh. So yeah, thank you very much. Also for helping in the testing of the bot. And is OSK still here? It's one of those streams that you really killed me, guys. Anyway, guys, thank you very much, and see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.